At the White House today, President Obama gave a speech in defense of his Affordable Health Care Act. He said the whole thing is a disaster, and he's sorry he even tried. Interesting fact, did you know that the number of speeches Obama has made about affordable health care is greater than the number of people who have actually signed up for affordable health care? The president said today that despite the initial problems with the healthcare.gov website, it's working better now, and it's going to continue to improve going forward. According to the White House, 1 million people visited the website on Monday, mostly to see if they were covered for injuries suffered at Walmart on Black Friday. But
All right, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. It's Jimmy Kimmel as we welcome you to Malsberg's Media Madness. And that can mean only one thing. It's time for the one and the only. Well, it will be time for the one and the only. Noel Sheppard, associate editor of Newsbusters.org. And we'll get to him momentarily. And I want to ask him about a story that's up right now on Newsbusters. Okay, we're going to do the phone. Okay. We want to ask him about a story that's up on Newsbusters where Chris Matthews has put both feet in his mouth again. He doesn't care. He'll be hailed as a hero and a national treasure by his boss over at MSNBC for saying that the former president, the former leader of South Africa, F.W. de Klerk, who led South Africa under apartheid and then reached out to and freed Nelson Mandela from jail. Nonetheless, he said that F.W. de Klerk was more of a patriot than Mitch McConnell is. And Mitch McConnell, of course, the minority leader of the U.S. Senate, senator from the great state of Kentucky. Are we trying to get the phone number? All right. It's modern technology is a wonderful thing, ladies and gentlemen. And we're getting. We're also going to talk to Noel about Sarah Palin responding to the apology by Martin Bashir. Michael Eric Dyson on MSNBC. Wait till you hear what he had to say about millions of men rising to the occasion, or will be, thanks to Obamacare. And we're also going to talk about some remarks made by cartoonist Ted Roll right here on this show. All right, let's go to Noel. Hello, Noel.
Hello, Steve.
How they say better late than never. So here we go. Here we are. I just told the folks what the lead story on Newsbusters at this point is, and it's once again Chris Matthews claiming that F.W. de Klerk, the former apartheid leader of South Africa, is more of a patriot than Mitch McConnell, the minority leader of the U.S. Senate. What's going on in his head with this one?
Well, you never know what's going on in Mitch McConnell's head. In Chris Matthews' head. I mean, this is, as I just wrote, this isn't as awful as what Bashir said about Sarah Palin, but it's really pretty darn disgusting because basically what he's doing here is he's suggesting that prior to the election of Barack Obama, America was an apartheid state. And now, since he's been elected, we no longer are, and that it's basically folks like Mitch McConnell and Republicans and conservatives that were responsible for the apartheid state, which, of course, doesn't exist, and that since the election, they've been trying to thwart Obama's efforts to eliminate apartheid. So, this is just, we knew that once Mandela died, the media, as long as Obama was president, the media were going to draw all kinds of bizarre parallels between Obama and Mandela and say all kinds of goofy things to trash conservatives. But this one to me takes the cake. Especially, he's historically inaccurate in what he's saying here. He's kind of suggesting that de Klerk came to his anti-apartheid beliefs after Mandela was elected. No, that's not true. De Klerk comes to power in '89. Now, he was pro-apartheid prior to that point, but the first day he's in office, he gives a speech where he calls for the end of a racist South Africa. He's the one who releases Mandela. He and Mandela win the Nobel Peace Prize together.
Yeah.
So this wasn't just offensive on Matthews' part. it's also factually inaccurate.
Well, and so is his a lot of his book, and the premise of his book with Tip O'Neill and Ronald Reagan going across the street and having a beer together, which they say it really never happened. All right, let's head on to Sarah Palin, and you mentioned Martin Bashir. Martin Bashir resigning from MSNBC, and Sarah Palin responding to that on Fox News, saying, among other things, that it's her job to accept the apology. And then she had this the message to people who might get into politics. Here's cut 23.
My role was to accept his apology and be humble enough to, accept it and move on. But I just hope that unprovoked attacks like that don't result in people being hesitant to jump in the arena anyway, to get out there and serve the public, or, start a business, or really commit themselves to changing within their family, their community, their world, doing whatever that they can, despite the fact that in this world you are going to be hurt and attacks will come your way. I just hope that an attack like that doesn't make people hesitate.
Well, I thought that was a very good message to put forth to people out there. But let's also talk about the resignation. I mean, it was kind of conspicuous, or he was, by his absence last week and then at the beginning of this week. So I guess it's not all that unexpected now. I mean, if you had asked me the day or two after it happened and nothing from MSNBC and he was on the air after his apology, I would have said nothing was going to happen.
No, and what's interesting here is the way MSNBC allowed him to resign, and Griffin's comments afterwards, Griffin being the
Phil Griffin,
MSNBC, basically saying that he thinks that Bashir is a stand-up guy, is a respectable guy, said something wrong, wishes him well. Neither Griffin nor anyone within MSNBC or NBC has come out and condemned what Bashir said. And that's in itself rather offensive. I mean, it should have been incumbent upon them not only to punish him and do it much more quickly than they did. I really think that they were expecting the Thanksgiving holiday that this would just all blow over. And I think we talked about that, obviously not last Friday because it was Thanksgiving, but the Friday before, although we spoke the Wednesday before. I think they were really hoping that this would just blow away and that he could keep his job. But there were enough people out there, certainly on the conservative side, but even some more moderate folks like a David Zararick of the Baltimore Sun, coming out and making statements that he needed to go, that I think they finally realized he did. But the way they handled this was so, I don't know, kind of weaselly.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, and it's kind of what you would expect. But let's move on now to again on MSNBC. We can't get away from it. Another piece you wrote at newsbusters.org, and that is Michael Eric Dyson, one of their contributors on what was the Martin Bashir show, or maybe still is. He was there, and there were a couple of females on the panel, including Joy Reid as the substitute host. And who knew that we would have this benefit? You ready for this? Here's cut 29.
So what Obama's anticipating is that I'm going to put this out there now because, you look, a year from now, people are not even going to remember the rollout stuff.
Right,
it's going to be like, thank God I went to the doctor and it wasn't the emergency ward. And guess what? Now I've got my diabetes under control. I've got my chemotherapy here. I've got my Viagra. There will be millions of men who will rise to the occasion and say, we are grateful for what has been done.
Oh my God!
No, and then listen to the girls giggling.
I know.
I mean, this is supposedly a cable news network.
I know.
And they're acting like children. And this is a professor at Georgetown University talking about men rising to the occasion using Viagra because now they've got Obamacare. So what? There was no Viagra before Obamacare. It's just It's becoming, I've been saying this to you, I think, for a while, it's becoming very difficult, and I realize I get paid to do it, but it's becoming more and more difficult to watch this network because it's a farce. This isn't news. This isn't a news network. I'm not even sure what to categorize it as anymore.
Well, I don't know if they know what I mean. I had a candidate for the replacement of Martin Bashir, and that's whatever Obama's uncle is, whatever his name is. I think they should replace him with Obama's uncle. Now he's allowed to stay in the country. He could just move right in and without missing a beat, take over that show.
Yeah. No, I think it's going to end up being Reed. And she's really disgraceful. I mean, this is just, I think that you possibly had seen, and maybe you spoke to Brent Bozell about this earlier in the week. He was asking who's the next character assassin that they're going to put in.
I did see that, yeah.
I mean, what's interesting to me is a lot of us were wondering, now that Bashir is gone, you would have expected, and I put this in my piece about Matthews, you would have thought that with two very, very high-profile dismissals, in just a 9-day period.
Right, Baldwin and Bashir, right.
Baldwin and Bashir. You would have thought that Griffin or someone high up would have sent out a memo to all of the on-air personalities to cool it. Let's calm down a little bit here, folks. We're getting out of control. We're becoming a joke. But no, it clearly they haven't learned anything from this. A couple of people have been fired, fine. But I think they're going to bring in another flamethrower, or as Brent said, another character assassin, and it's just business as usual at MSNBC. They're not getting the point.
Right, and that point has to come, as you alluded to, from someone at NBC News, and it just befuddles me as to why they don't care.
Exactly. I mean, I understand Chuck Todd, respected individual, senior White House correspondent. He's got a show on MSNBC, so he's not going to say anything.
No, but that's the problem. He's got a show on MSNBC, and then he's White House correspondent on Brian Williams News. Andrea Mitchell, who is very biased, she's got to respect. She's senior foreign correspondent, whatever, on Brian Williams News on NBC. So they're tainted by it.
Yep. Yeah, and the question is, where does this all come from? I mean, someone like a Chuck Todd, is he really a flamethrower? Is Andrea Mitchell, I mean, they're biased, but are they really flamethrowers? Do they really like what they see on their own network? Or is it just that they're being told, this is what we're going to do, this is who we are, this is what we're going to do, whether you like it or not? I can't imagine an Andrea Mitchell, she's very, very far to the left, but she's also, we could give her credit as being a good investigative reporter at one point in time. How can she like what's going on her own network? Or is it just money rules? They're paying her $1 million or a couple of $1 million or whatever that number is. Who cares?
Yeah, well, these are good questions, Noel, and I'm sure you will get to the bottom of it. Specifically, you'll have a drink with you'll go across the street with Alan Greenspan, and you'll find out all the dirt. Get him a little tipsy.
No, but see, if I talk to Alan, we're going to talk economics.
There you go. Yeah.
I'm not going to talk to her about Andrea.
I'm kidding. Hey, listen, Noel, great to talk to you, my friend. We'll speak to you next week. Thank you.
Sounds good. See you, sir.
Take care. Noel Sheppard, ladies and gentlemen, the associate editor of Newsbusters.org. The integral part of Malzberg's media madness. Didn't have a chance to talk to him about Ted Rall. He was kind enough to write that story up at Newsbusters. Ted Rall, the cartoonist who came on and, among other things, said if Hillary's the nominee in 2016, sexism will be the new racism. And you could bet that is 100% true. When we come back, the war on Christmas, or the war against Christmas, and it does exist. Don't be fooled by the left. Steve Malzberg Show, Newsmax TV and radio.